Have you ever had a moment of déjà vu so strong it felt real? Or a fleeting glimpse of something that hadn't happened yet? For most of us, these are just tricks of the mind. But for one man, they were the key to unlocking a power that could reshape our understanding of reality itself. This is the story of Leo, the man who could see through time. Before the world knew his name, Leo was just an ordinary guy. He worked as an archivist at the city library, surrounded by the quiet hum of history. His life was a predictable rhythm of cataloging old books and faded photographs. He found comfort in the order of the past, and the stories that were already written and finished. But beneath this calm surface, something was stirring. Since childhood, Leo had experienced what he called glitches, flickers of images, sounds, and sensations that didn't belong to the present. A sudden scent of rain on a sunny day, the phantom echo of a conversation he'd never had, or the vivid image of a stranger's smile. He dismissed them as an overactive imagination, a side effect of spending too much time with dusty old records. He had no idea these glitches were windows into moments that were, or moments that would be. The past and future were bleeding into his present, and the dam was about to break. The day everything changed started like any other. He was crossing a busy downtown street, lost in thought. Suddenly the world fractured. The screech of tires, the shattering of glass, a woman's scream, it all hit him in a brutal, sensory wave. He saw a blue sedan running a red light, a cyclist thrown into the air, the ensuing chaos. It was terrifyingly real. But then, he blinked, and he was back on the curb, the street perfectly normal. The blue sedan was still a block away. The cyclist was just approaching the intersection. It hadn't happened yet. Without thinking, driven by a primal terror, Leo lunged forward and grabbed the cyclist, pulling him back just as the blue sedan roared through the red light, exactly as he had seen. The cyclist stared, shaken and confused. Horns blared, people shouted, but all Leo could hear was the frantic pounding of his own heart. He hadn't just predicted the future, he had lived it, and he had changed it. News of the psychic who saved a cyclist spread like wildfire. It was dismissed by most as a lucky coincidence, but it caught the attention of one person who knew better, Dr. Evelyn Thorne. A former physicist turned parapsychologist, Thorne led a privately funded clandestine research group dedicated to studying extraordinary human abilities. She had spent her career searching for irrefutable proof of phenomena that science had written off as fantasy. In Leo, she saw her life's work personified. Thorne's team approached Leo with discretion, offering not fame or fortune, but something he desperately craved: answers. Terrified and isolated by his experience, Leo agreed. He was brought to a secure, state-of-the-art facility hidden away from the prying eyes of the world. This was where his real journey would begin. The initial tests were simple. Dr. Thorne's team would place a series of objects in a sealed room, and Leo was asked to describe them from the past, what they were yesterday or an hour ago. He did so with unnerving accuracy, describing not just the objects, but the way a sunbeam had hit a glass paperweight at a precise moment, or the faint coffee stain a researcher had left behind. They called his ability chrono-skimming. Next, they tested his precognition. Using a random number generator, they asked him to predict sequences. At first, he could only get flashes, glimpses of numbers, moments before they appeared. But with Thorne's guidance, he learned to focus, to quiet his mind and let the future flow to him. He was a natural. As the weeks turned into months, the experiments grew more complex. They had him skim historical events, using artifact a soldier's helmet from World War II, a fragment of pottery from an ancient civilization. Leo didn't just see images, he felt them. The bone-rattling fear of a soldier in a trench, the hope of an artist painting a vase millennia ago. The past wasn't a movie. It was a living, breathing entity, and it was taking a toll. He was plagued by nightmares, echoes of the tragedies he witnessed. Dr. Thong noted his increasing fatigue but pushed onward, driven by the immensity of their discovery. The breakthrough came during an experiment designed to test the limits of his range. The target was a high-profile political summit happening in real time across the continent. Leo was tasked with skimming the event for any potential security threats. He closed his eyes, focusing on the coordinates provided by Thorne. The usual cascade of images and sounds began, but this time, something was different. The signal was clearer, more stable. He wasn't just observing, he felt as if he was there, a ghost in the room. He saw the world leaders, heard their hushed conversations. And then he saw it, a security guard reaching inside his jacket, his eyes filled with a cold, terrifying resolve. But as Leo tried to focus on the threat, his perception warped. The scene began to splinter. He saw not one future, but dozens. In one, the guard succeeded, and chaos erupted. In another, he was stopped. In a third, the gun jammed. The timelines branched out before him like a shattered mirror, each one a distinct possibility. The strain was immense. A sharp pain lanced through his head, and back in the lab, alarms blared as his vitals went critical. Dr. Thorne ordered the experiment terminated, but it was too late. Leo couldn't pull back. He was lost, adrift in a sea of branching time. And then, he saw something else. In the chaotic vortex of futures, he saw a figure watching him. A person who wasn't in the summit room, who wasn't in the lab. A man with cold, knowing eyes, who seemed to be looking directly at him, through time itself. This man smiled, and in that instant, Leo felt a presence touch his mind, not from the past or the future, but from a place outside of both. The connection shattered. Leo collapsed, unconscious. Who was this mysterious man observing him from beyond time? And what did his smile mean? Leo's ability had evolved into something new, something far more powerful and dangerous than anyone had imagined. He wasn't just seeing time anymore. He was seeing all of its possibilities. The question now is not just what he can do, but who else out there can do it too. The story is far from over. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because in our next episode we'll uncover the identity of the man in the timeline, and reveal the true, terrifying scope of chronoskimming. You won't want to miss it.